Alright guys, so last month I made a video about how much gold is needed to make a level 4 PvP character, and a few days ago I made a video on the gear needed to make a level 4 PvP character. Now I saw a comment stating they want to know which pet is needed, so this video is about the pets that you need for level 4 PvP. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so you want to start off firstly by asking yourself what type of strategy you want to go for, whether you want to go for highly offensive or a bit defensive. Depending on the strategy that you want to go for is what pet you know you'll need. I'm gonna list out all the pets here for you guys. You guys can make the final decision on what pets you want. Personally, I would say get all, so you could try out different strategies and see what works well for you. So firstly, you want to start off with top of the top, which is my boy Heroic Lamy. Everybody uses this at most levels of PvP because of the simple factor that it has a chance to spawn a shield, and on top of being able to spawn a shield that reduces damage, it also heals 5 seconds over time. So this is definitely one of the top pets you want to get. We're talking about for the base only. This is the base pet alone we're talking about. There's also my boy Heroic Witchfur. Witchfur is really good. It depends on the class though. It honestly depends on the class. You could use it for all classes, but I think Witchfur is personally the best for warrior class, simply because warriors are more physical hitters, whereas rogues and mages could do range attacks, so they could be at a distance away from the player. But warriors need to be close to the player, so because of that, this pet is actually the best, because this pet actually reduces your speed by 75%. So any opponent that this pet attacks, it reduces their speed by 75%, and because of that, it's easier for the warrior now to be able to land hits because they can catch up to you faster. So this is definitely number 2 on the list, I would say, for base pets to get. You could use it on other classes as well, but as I say, it's best for warrior. The third I want to say on this list is Nibbler. Now, not many people is a big fan of Nibbler, but Nibbler is really good simply because of the fact, one, it reduces 50% speed, which is slightly less than what Witchfur does, and it also minuses 25% damage. I think the minus 25% damage comes really good and handy depending on the class that you're going up against. If you're going up against probably rogues, I would totally suggest using Nibbler. If you're going up against mages, I would totally suggest probably using Witchfur, because Witchfur actually does overtime damage as well. So these is the 3 pets you want to get. So Heroic Lamy, Heroic Witchfur, and then of course Nibbler. Then you could also get Skeletops, but Skeletops was good when it first came out, but ever since Witchfur was introduced, Skeletops no longer as useful as it used to be. But Skeletops is also a good option as well. It has a chance to do burst overtime damage. It does large amounts of overtime damage, and it also reduces the enemy hit chance and damage by 30%. So this is the 4th base pet you want to get. So these are the 3 main 4 you want to get, and the 5th one you want to get is Heroic Samael. Heroic Samael is not important, but you can get him simply because if you're doing like 3v3s or 4v4s, you can't stack like 4 Heroic Lamys to get like 20% health per second. You can only stack about 2 Heroic Lamys at once, which will give you 5% each, hence giving everybody on the team 10% health per second. But if you use 2 Heroic Lamys and you use a Heroic Samael, Samael actually heals 3% health and 3% mana. So now you could actually get the Heroic Samael to stack with the 2 Lamys rather than trying to use 3 Lamys to get 15%, because I don't believe more than 2 Lamys could stack at the same time. So this is just an extra pet you can get for when you're doing like 3v3s or you're doing like 4v4s. I won't suggest using Witchfur in like 3v3s and 4v4s, simply because this is a pet that only targets one player. So it's really good for 1v1s, but it's not that good for if you're doing like clashes. Skeletops is good for clashes because it actually hits up to about 3 targets. So It's really good if you're doing clashes, but it's still not the best because personally, you do enough damage from simply your weapons alone. Your pets should be dedicated to healing you because at level 4 you don't have as much skills that will be able to heal you, so we rely on pets. So it's really good to have Lami if you're doing clashes. It's really good to have Samael if you're doing clashes. So these two is definitely a must if you're doing like 3v3s, 4v4s, 5v5s. And if you're doing like 1v1s, I would definitely say get Lami and get Heroic Witchfur. So again, the top will be Lami simply because of the diversity. It's both good for 1v1s and 2v2s, 3v3s, 4v4s, all the way up to 5v5s. Witchfur, really good for 1v1s, slightly good for 2v2s, but I'd honestly suggest just you and your partner both using Lami's, Heroic Lami, to get 10% health over time rather than using this. And then if you're doing like 3v3s to 5v5s, it's really good to have Samael just for the extra health boost and the little bit of stamina boost as well. Then Skeletops, as well, as I said, you could get overtime damage. It's really good for 3v3s all the way to 5v5s. There's also a new version that came out to Lami, which is Vermilion, I believe. Is it? Hold on, let me find the pet here. It's actually, yeah, Velora, my bad. So this pet here, this is the legendary version. Let me get the heroic version for you guys. So this is the heroic version here. It actually heals 3% health over time and 2% mana over time. So this is also really good. It basically does the same thing that heroic Samael does. So you could either get this or you could get heroic Samael. Personally, I would say go for this simply because of the fact that you could also get a shield from this pet, just like you could get a shield from heroic Lami. So that's really good as well. But this is a little bit more on the costly factor. So if you're working with a budget, I would totally just say get Samael. So yeah, the three main ones you wanna get is heroic Lami, heroic Samael, and heroic Witchfur. Once you have those three, you are good to go.